Today we're back with even more mechanic memes.
First clip.
Lower.
Love this guy.
I don't know this guy. Oh!
I love this guy.
Oh my
man.
god!
I've seen this guy before.
That
Russian.
was so fast.
Yeah, it just happened instantly.
Did he not put
Lower.
any... How did he even... Oh my god.
Oh, you know what he's doing?
Is it made out of glass, actually?
It's either the block is made out of something or they have something in the cylinders keeping the pistons from moving.
Damn, I mean, I've blown some motors on startup, but not that quickly. That's on crank.
Oh, you know what it is? I bet it's ice. They test stuff on their YouTube channel.
Oh, okay,
so they
gotcha.
test weird things like clear oil pans, different types of oil.
Oh, yeah.
So I bet you anything is
has
in
to
Russia.
be, yeah.
I bet it's ice.
Yeah, it is a solid representation of my life and working on cars, though.
Okay, well, let's not make this a depression story.
You know. We'll leave it to the Russians. Alex, this is your first time on RMS. Tell the boys and girls who you are and why they should possibly listen to you.
All right, well, you might remember me from the Hoonigan build content. Did that a couple years ago. You may have also seen me on the Hemmings YouTube channel. And you know what? Soon you'll see me on the Donut channel, where I helped Jimmy build a four-wheel vehicle from scratch. Look out for that.
All right, next clip.
I am on a remote island on the edge of the Gulf of Alaska at the very top of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, that's how it is.
If it involves a 10 mil, you know exactly where it's gonna go.
Yeah,
There's
it's
only one place it
just
can go, which
gone.
is who knows.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many popular sizes. A 12. Shit,
12.
even a 13.
I mean, even 11 gets used from time to time.
Here and there, but the 10 just like gets up and goes.
I mean, it's
How
used
that
for
happens.
90% of everything, so.
True also. There's gotta be another tool that you lose because you're on you're at your shop all the time. What's your like tool that you lose?
I do mostly fabrication and design work these days, but I mean, yeah, the 10 mil would be the one to lose.
Still the go-to.
Still the go-to, because it's just small enough. You drop it in that engine bay, it's gone forever.
It just, you know, the worst is when you drop it, that's one thing, but you want to hear it hit the floor.
Gotta hear it hit the floor. Or if you hear it hit plastic, you're like, it's gone.
Now it's an under
It's
tray,
gone.
and that's gonna rattle for the rest of this car's life.
Yeah, but you know what? I will say, going on that, we've built cars that are old before, and we've found some crazy stuff. We've found wrenches just lodged in between like fenders, and they're like the liner of the fender. We found so many wrenches, 10 mils. God, everything you could imagine. Just rusted to hell.
It's like a little Easter egg hunt.
It is.
It's so
And
funny.
you know, we still use those tools to this day.
Those are, never throw away a 10 mil.
And they're 10 still.
Keep
So,
spares.
there you go.
Let's keep laughing. What's next?
Man, this is a lot of work. Wish I had an extra set of hands.
Dude, I got you.
NOS Energy Grand Prix Guava.
Yeah, it tastes great. And it'll give you that energy boost you need.
NOS Energy Grand Prix Guava packs a punch of guava and peach into one bold tropical flavor that fuels adrenaline junkies from the track to the street. It's great for long hauls or long days in the garage, helping you lock in and focus. If you have a project car, you know the work is never ending, so grab yourself a can of NOS Energy Grand Prix Guava and get your project over the finish line. You might even feel like you have an extra set of hands. Click the link in the description to learn more. Whoa, getting crazy. Whoa.
That's funny. You ever work at a dealership or
Never.
like an actual shop with like people that you have to deal with outside?
Never
Like,
once.
no?
Yeah, I don't deal
God
with the
bless
people.
you.
I got somebody to deal with the people for me, and I'm so thankful.
That's
for
the
that.
best way. And that would be the service advisor who has to deal with people.
Oh God.
And that's why the service advisor hates mechanics. Because he has to deal with the people. The people that come in, they're the ones that tell you the noises or the things or why the oil change broke their entire car.
Just a completely vague descriptions of what could possibly be wrong with their car.
All the time. But I mean, stuff like this is always funny because like in a dealership, there's things called waiters. Do you know what a waiter is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a term called waiter's gonna wait, means that just because a car came in, that car is due to be able to, you know, the work is like 6 or 7, 8 hours, but that tech might be able to knock it out in like an hour. And so that car will just sit in the back and won't be touched until the actual tech wants to get to it. And the advisor wants to get the cars out of there.
Yep.
That's why the advisor is crying
Well, you know, a shop manager is the exact same way.
Yeah.
Because they're getting the money based on when the car is leaving the shop.
Yep.
So
And
they're pushing you to get that thing done at a certain time. And even if they screw up the schedule, I'm not naming any names, but even if they screw up the schedule, they're going to put it all on the person that's working on the car.
Yep. That's how it goes.
So there
Just
you go.
pass the blame. Story of my life.
Next clip.
Yeah.
Adam, you watching this one?
Oh, it hurts.
It's so relatable.
I know. I just keep dumping money into it. And the worst part is not even that I keep dumping money into the cars, is that when I'm done and I'm relaxing at home, I'm on Facebook Marketplace looking for my next box. For whatever reason,
You gotta get over this,
I
man.
can't, and it's an actual sickness and disease. I'm sure if I brought these problems up to my therapist, then that would be a whole different can of worms and probably a higher rate. My thing right now is like a GC8 and swapping everything from a Subaru like STI into it to have a sick GC8 wagon. And it's even worse is like now I'm like, oh, well, you know, it'd be even cooler doing a case swap with all of that at the same
No,
time.
stop,
I know.
man. Come on.
It's really bad.
That is bad.
But it'd be cool.
We need an intervention. Yeah, you know, because the problem is you see this turd and you're like, this could be this when it's done.
Beautiful.
But you know what? It never happens, dude.
I know.
I had 9 cars at the height of my car ownership.
That's insane.
And like,
How many of them
only
ran
three
at
of
one
them-
time?
3 of them ran at
Yeah.
one time, and one of them was my race car.
Yeah.
And my tow truck.
It just
and my
doesn't
daily
stop.
driver. So there you go.
This is our version of I can fix him.
Yeah,
For sure.
it literally is.
Yeah.
But they never get fixed.
No, these cars are just red flags.
I try not to refer to a project car as a project, because the second you say that you admit that it's a project, it never gets done. You got to say, this is a build.
I guess so,
building
yeah.
this car.
What is your longest project car that you've kind of got going or have had?
You know what? I had a Toyota Cressida. I had a big Cressida phase, MX-83.
Okay.
I loved them. That's
I'm
the
down
car
with
that
that.
got me into drifting in the first place.
Weird.
So I'm like, I'm gonna build this thing. I'm gonna do the body kit, the whole JDM
Ooh.
thing with the 1J and everything. Back when 1Js were affordable.
Yeah, they're
'Cause
actually cheap.
Oh, 1Js are, but not 2Js.
Yeah, still.
Okay, yeah, 1Js. But yeah, I just kind of sat on the lift. You know, took it all apart because it was a running car, and then it just sat on the lift for like years, and it never
Oh,
did anything.
years?
Never did anything.
Oh my God.
Just sat there.
What's your longest continual build? That kind of tends to like work and not work, work and not work.
I had a 260Z. That was my Pro-Am car.
Sick.
You
LS
knew
swap.
that, yeah. We drove together
I
many
know,
times in
I think
that
it was
car.
cool. It was cool. I still actually remember telling you to like get rid of it just because like suspension wise it was so hard to drive.
It was awesome.
I know, but it was just like, dude, go take it a little easier. But you're a guy that likes to build stuff. That's why you're a fabricator, right? So you kind of like that challenge and the uniqueness of
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, it was great. But you know how these
that
race
one's
cars
pretty
go.
cool, yeah.
You kind of like, you build it, and then you go through like another iteration. Okay, I'm gonna do like an LS swap, and then I'm gonna do the rear end, and I'm gonna do the angle kit, and it all just kind of like keeps going and going. And I had
Doesn't
that
stop.
I had the car for like 8 years or something, and you just keep working on it.
Yeah.
Like your 240.
well, if there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that probably helped you like work on like fabrication skills and
Yep.
commitment and follow through on
right.
it and everything. So it's not always a waste of time. It's
Yeah.
not just a phase, Mom. Anyways,
Yeah. Not getting into that one.
let's see something else.
This is how you know you drove your Aventador hard. When you park, it pops the wing back up because it got so hot that it needs to cool down.
Yeah, well, you know your Ford Falcon's gotten a little bit warm when you pop the bonnet and you...
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, we've seen. Oh,
Oh
geez,
man.
Why did it end on that?
Did it just explode? Oh man. I didn't even see him reach for it. I thought it just exploded ironically.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. That's so.
Oh, that cut was beautiful.
Oh, that was so good. My buddy, and you know him, Adrian,
Yep.
he did this. It was like the 4th day in a row we were up, and it's like 4 in the morning. For whatever reason, he's like, I gotta check the coolant. Right after we did a dyno hit.
Yep.
And it just explodes all over him. My tuner was in the car. It got on the laptop, and it just fried the laptop, which fried the ECU then. God. This is fun.
Yeah,
Cars
it
are a
gets
lot of
expensive.
fun.
Hey, but on a serious note, just remember, if your car's really hot, don't pop open the lid that holds all your coolant in.
Yeah, never do that.
Because that's extremely dangerous. It's boiling water, and it's very pressurized.
Yeah.
And it will hurt a lot. Trust
So-
us, we know.
Also, side note, I love the the Lamborghini, bro. Like the second you heard him talk, like, you drove your Lambo hard. I checked out immediately.
What is that?
I was
What is
shut
that?
up, Chad. Go home,
Who's
dude.
driving their
I don't
Lamborghini
want to hear it, dude.
Come on.
Get out of here. It was probably the valet dude that drove it hard, and then he's like just flexing.
Always the valets.
Valets, dude. Next clip.
It's time to play the game.
Well, it's a Subaru. We know where this is going.
Play the game.
Oh, that's so good.
Why are you guys buying Subarus? Yeah.
So funny. Oh my God, Subarus, man, they just get the worst rap for the most obvious reason.
That and BMWs.
I mean, stereotypes are earned,
Dude, they really are. I had one of those STI engines from a STI, obviously, and I sold it. And the guy that bought it, he's like, "Yeah, this is my 7th one." So yeah, Subarus, they kind of deserve that.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we got a lot of heat about it because we built some, and same thing. We had motor problems, etc. I used to actually run a Subaru performance shop.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, these things aren't built to go super high boost just flat out of the box. I mean, in your owner's manual, it says that it will consume oil. And these things are tiny. Like if you actually take apart and look at a long block, it's like this tall, and the actual block is about this big.
Yeah, it's a good little package.
They're great at handling. It's low center of gravity. They've got a place and purpose, but they're not gonna beat Evos out of the box. I'm sorry. Stop just throwing boost at these things.
Yeah, it's a lot of time and a lot of money to make one of those handle a decent amount of horsepower.
But I actually really like Subarus. I'm still a sucker for them. But side note, when I look at Facebook Marketplace, the second I see that you have a Cobb tuner,
Oh God.
nope, I'm not buying that car. You're getting lowballed, my friend, because I need to replace that motor.
That's right. Find yourself a nice stock Subaru if you want something that'll actually work.
Yeah, but I mean, you just do service on these things, like oil changes, and every probably, I don't know, I think it's like 500 to 1,000 miles. It says to check and add like a quart of oil.
Yeah.
They go for a really long time.
Yeah.
But they're also powered by vape pens, so these kids usually just up the boost and keep going.
That's right. I mean, you can say the same thing about RX-7s, RX-8s, anything with a rotary motor.
Yeah.
Exact same situation. But like rotary motors, if you take care of it, it's gonna last a really long time.
Take care of your Next
tip,
clip.
Take care of your Wait, what?
Oh,
Hold on.
man.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, it's getting it clean.
Oh, let's go.
It's definitely getting it clean.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, the poor Miata, too? Oh, no. Dish soap? Yeah, if you didn't know, dish soap breaks down oil.
Oh, yeah, really well, actually.
Yeah, so don't be putting that. I mean, we use that to clean our hands after we're done working on oily stuff.
They also helped with the Gulf of Mexico, so dope. Thanks for cleaning up those oily ducks.
That's right, dude. We love our ducks.
Yeah. I mean, Alex, what do you think? This is for sure rage bait.
That motor was 100% on its last leg.
Yeah.
I guarantee it had a rod knock or something. And they're just like, I bet it'll be funny if we pour a whole thing of Dawn dish soap in
Yeah,
here.
let's see how it goes.
Because it literally cuts the oil and makes the oil stop doing oil stuff.
Oil stuff, yeah.
So, yeah, you might as well be putting sand in your motor.
Oof, that's the worst. But actually, what it, helps with Miatas a lot of times is because they're a hydraulic lifter. So you'll get hydraulic tick. That's because there's gunk inside the lifter, so it doesn't want to open as much.
That's
so
right.
guys will put automatic transmission fluid in there right before an oil change. So you could do half a quart to a full quart, run it for like 20, 30 miles, and then do a full oil change, and it helps kind of get the contaminants out because ATF is like really.
It's a good detergent.
Yeah, it has a high detergent level on it.
Yeah, so it'll clean out your stuff, and then you do it right before an oil change, so you're getting rid of it, because you don't want to run your motor
do not
on
run the motor forever on
detergents
it.
for a long time. But yeah, that's a really good way to kind of clean up your engine if it needs it.
Yeah, Dawn is not.
Yeah, definitely don't do Dawn.
Don't do that. That was pretty spectacular, though, as far as how much smoke there is.
I mean, I love me some Dawn, I'll tell you that. You can also put it behind your wheels or tires when you're doing a burnout.
All right, hit him with the next clip.
Hold on.
Oh, that's a lot of switches. It's a lot of writing.
This is a lot of
I can't read.
I installed switches on my car's dash that don't do anything.
Okay, I can appreciate
Get to my
that.
car, I look them in the eye, say,
Oh my
"Buckle
God,
up,"
dude.
and start flipping switches in what appears to be a purposeful order. Then I'll drive like a grandma while refusing to answer any questions about the switches.
Oh my God, I can appreciate that.
That's so funny. That's
appreciate that.
such next level troll, and
Yeah.
like a lot of commitment to the install and how the inside of that car is gonna look.
You know, this is a lifelong bit.
That's-
pretty much, and I appreciate it.
I know, they're in for the long haul. That's pretty funny.
But dude, I say, you see this in off-road trucks, man.
Yeah.
You see this in off-road trucks. Even brand new ones. They'll have the whole switch panel and only one of them will turn on the lights.
That's funny.
So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's very race car. It used to be so many switches for race cars. You've got the ignition, fuel, possibly water pumps, etc., and just this order just to start a race car. And it's funny, every race car is the same but different. So like you would like be like, hey, move my car to like a buddy, and then it's like, okay, but this is the sequence. So nowadays it's pretty cool. Like most of that stuff is just like, it's almost just like OEM cars. You literally just ignition on and it triggers a lot of stuff because the ECU controls it. But I mean, that's what my race car looked like.
This is a throwback because like older race cars, maybe like just 10, 15 years ago, they all looked like this.
Yeah.
But now we got switch panels.
That's true.
So we got the cool, like, just cool brand new switch panel with the like 9 buttons or whatever on them, and you can have your 1 button start.
Start it all.
And that's it.
But it was so cool to get in, and I just felt like a fighter pilot.
Oh yeah.
You know, you go in, you're like, click, yes, all the lights are on. Click, the fuel pump starts going. Click, whatever the hell else, and then just like start it. And it's just like this whole sequence is so cool.
Yeah.
But that as a bit, that's hilarious. I've never thought of doing that. So good on you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
This guy would be funny at a bar.
Commitment to the bit.
Yeah.
Are there any things you've ever put in your car that have been essentially useless, but you just like it in the car?
Yeah, it's called Me, the Driver.
Relatable. So relatable.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever put anything in your car that's kind of useless but like funny?
No, but you would love to do the switch panel, and then you do like 4 or like 6 extra switches. You're like, one day I'm gonna have a use for this switch.
I put a platypus in my car that I got from Australia as for good luck for whatever reason. I just really like platypuses. They're the weirdest animal.
Other than that, fuzzy dice.
Fuzzy dice.
That's about it.
You know platypuses are like tiny?
No, I didn't know.
They're like this big with the tail.
I had no idea.
It's ridiculous. I thought it was like a beaver, and I was really disappointed.
Can we get an edit graphic?
Yeah, at the size
is a platypus.
An actual size of a platypus. It's really small.
Here, you can edit it.
It's
to when
disappointing.
It's the right size.
It's just, it's sad. Thanks for watching, Alex. Thank you for coming by. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a hug, buddy.
Oh, my boy.
If you guys want to see more meme videos and laugh along with us, let us know. Give us a comment. Other than that, have a good day. Bye.
All right, y'all, if you're a mechanic or an automotive industry professional and you think you got the chops to kick it with us right here in this studio, go ahead and fill out that link in the bio.